Here we are, we're live, and today we've just had USA play Pakistan, and it wasn't quite the contest that I was expecting it to be, especially after the highs of the 2024 World Cup, and USA were nowhere in that space to compete with Pakistan, who were very clearly the superior side. And I think I like the way Pakistan has also progressed as a T20 team because earlier we've seen the way Pakistan played at the 2024 World Cup, and they very clearly had problems which they persisted with. Today, they ended up choking the opposition, and this is something that I was really impressed with in their batting. It showed so much of intent when Pakistan, set out to play that game. They were not even thinking of allowing all of those demons that were there in their mind from 2024 to even manifest itself. And I think that way Pakistan has done a great job today in winning that game. And I think, of course, kudos to the new team management who've been able to bring about that revolution in their T20 game. First of all, one of their players who's part of that change is Sahibzada Farhan, and 73 or 41 balls. I mean, somebody striking at 178. I think what he did effectively was when Pakistan scored 56 in 5 overs, I think that itself had tilted the win percentage to 88. It meant that even if they had like a semi decent middle overs, Pakistan would get to 140 or 150. So they were never going to be short. If they had 140, 150 on the board, they were always going to compete with USA. So that way, I think Sahibzada Farhan, his strike rate against pace was close to 200. So that's great that, he kind of insulated Pakistan's potential middle order collapse. That happened though much later, where they lost 5 wickets for 10 runs. But without his 73, Pakistan could have finished under 150, which could have kind of been USA's ideal target to chase. I kind of feel that when I saw USA bat in that second half, um, they really were not taking on spin. 16 overs of spin, 96 balls, they scored 112 for 7. And even against India, they were 48 for 3 in 48 balls. So against high quality spin on wickets that are not the traditional flatbeds, USA still doesn't have that level of game time or skill to go attack and then split the field. So that's definitely something that was very clearly coming off. But going to the next point in the game, where I felt Pakistan did very well, Babar Azam, and I think while critics were questioning his lost power, especially the last game against Netherlands where he was out 15 of 18 balls, Babar actually manipulated that USA spin duo pretty well. He specifically took on Harmeet Singh, and I think at one point he scored 24 of his runs of 11 balls of Harmeet Singh. And I think he played well off Harmeet as well as Mohammad Mohsin. And yeah, I think at the end of the day, 140 strike rate and strike rotation also happened, a boundary every over that when he was around. While he didn't particularly explode, I think he was on 26 of 21 balls, and that's when he started to explode. And it's good that he provided that stability. He was also accelerating, and then Shadab Khan came and he scored 30 of 12. So this Pakistan side is now starting to peak. It's also starting to look very dangerous. And of course, they are preparing well for the next game against India, and that's a all important game. Meanwhile, we'll just try and see if there are any questions as such. So far, no questions. Thanks to the one viewer who's watching. Please, if you have any questions, do share it here. This is a social conversation, and I'm trying to test a few things out. So I'm happy to take questions and see if we can have back and forth conversations. So I think that was something that I kind of felt that two things which differentiated Pakistan's victory today. Third, I think Shaheen Afridi, his 100th T20I today, and very polarizing day. I mean, he was the most expensive of the bowlers, and while those 16 overs of spin were bowled, Shaheen Afridi went for about 41 runs in his, didn't complete it. I think in his 4 overs, he was just taken to the cleaners. I remember that the 18th over, he went for two consecutive sixes. So that was, I think, Shubham Ranjane. Momentarily, I think that was, I thought, USA's only chance to reduce the net run rate margin. He eventually got his man, trapping Shubham Ranjane in that final over. But I think his expensive day was largely due to USA realizing that they cannot hit spin, and they don't have that capability to just go murder spin on a helpful track. So they had to pick pace, and he was targeted today. So spin was the real killer today, I think, from a surface standpoint. And Usman Tariq, he was like a statistical hero of the second innings. And I'm just surprised, man. Over 7 to 14, USA's boundary frequency dropped from one every four balls in those first 3 overs to one every 11 balls. Now you can't do that in a 10 and over chase. Definitely not. Their captain also was kind of caught on the back foot. I somehow felt that USA was like a 4x4 jeep that was just stuck in quicksand, and it was worried about the aesthetics of how it would look when it tried to come out of the quicksand, and they were just trying to be very cute and dainty. They just did not want to go ahead and look dirty and get out of the situation, which potentially offered itself. So I think that way, I think, to me, these were the key moments. Saib Zada Farhan and Babar Azam in the power play and the middle overs, and of course the 10 ball collapse that Pakistan had. I remember speaking with a bunch of my friends on WhatsApp that this 10 ball collapse could potentially create an opportunity where the win percentage, I felt if Pakistan had scored a little more runs, they would have got that much more insurance for their margin. But that wasn't the case today. They didn't really require all of that. It didn't cost them much because of US's inferior game against spin. They're not at elite level yet, but I'm happy to see US, put a very dignified response in not giving it up too early. They waited, and they've got themselves the 150 plus total at the end. But at the end of the day, Pakistan always looked the clear winners. And it's good to see someone like Shubham Ranjane take, Shaheen Afridi on despite struggling against spin. They said, okay, this is the only guy bowling pace to us. We should take him down. And Usman Tariq, I'm really impressed. Now that spin choke, he was part of the team that did the spin choke. Initially started on with Nawaz and Shadab. Shadab at one point, I think I remember in his third over, he had only given 7 or 8 runs. And Usman Tariq came, was able to go take those wickets with the pressure that was earlier created. So I think that way, these I think were the most important parts of the game. Pakistan win by 32 runs, so that adds what 32 divided by 20. It's a plus 1.6 on the net run rate. So I think that way, this is a good segue to understand now that Pakistan are raring to go. What should India expect from Pakistan as they get for the Super Sunday clash? I think both India and Pakistan have played US, and and also Pakistan's played an extra game where they've played Netherlands. So it looks like these are tougher tracks to bat on. And we've seen these 140 150 tracks in the Middle East. So I'm guessing that we're going to have a similar game where I think maybe your only window for big hitting is probably the power play, and after that the game will slow down. So it remains to be seen if India is also going to be fielding an arsenal of spinners, especially on these kind of surfaces. Today was played at the SSC, though the next game where India and Pakistan will be playing will be at the Premadasa, which is a little further down in the city. But yes, as today's game went, I'm happy to see USA has put a fight, but USA are nowhere near the side that they were in 2024. They really aren't bubbling with the kind of confidence and energy, and that's understandable. A side like them does not get quality game time against some of these higher elite oppositions, and maybe it's a T20 World Cup is where they get the opportunity. But seeing games like where Netherlands played Pakistan or Nepal played England, I think there should potentially now be an opportunity to see if bilateral series or maybe a tri series or a quadrangular series can include some of these teams. I know the Asia Cup includes Nepal, but maybe we need more opportunities for these teams to play, understand, and then know what it is to compete at this level. For now, I think Pakistan have done well. They've staved off this whole threat of the US. It was billed as an important game. That's not going to happen. Pakistan basically made sure that they were the superior side in all aspects of power play batting, middle overs batting. They were able to also bring the choke in the middle overs when they were bowling. So Pakistan have all along been the superior side, and USA has a lot more to put on their table. Maybe their real games begin now. They've played against two of the bigger nations, and maybe now is their opportunity to take these learnings and go play against some of the nations that aren't a top, like Namibia and Netherlands, and see if they're able to eke out a victory in the remaining two games. But that's it for now. Thanks for joining on the Cow Corner podcast. Looking forward to having more discussions later on sometime this month. See you around.